Hey guys, happy Monday. Welcome back. In today's video, we'll be covering latest updates on Ethereum as well as doing a deep dive technical analysis on ETH and BMNR stock led by Chairman Tom Lee. In fact, today we saw a nice reversal from Friday's big bloodbath with all of the tariff announcements from Trump. In fact, we're seeing some nice reversals to the upside, just with that planned attack, with just really liquidating out all of the leverage investors. We're seeing nice run-ups with Ethereum and BMNR. Now, if you're new to this channel, I would really appreciate you hitting the like, subscribing for more related content, and I will be playing a video clip of Tom Lee at the summit. Let's begin, guys. Let's first off take a look at this post from Ted. He's saying ETH will catch up with the M2 supply in Q4. The fair value of ETH is 8,000 to 10,000 by Q1 of 2026. Put it in the comments whether you believe that the crypto bull run will continue through, is it going to be 2025 end of year or is it going to extend onward to 2026? With institutional bidding and staking approval, I think ETH will rally hard. So, especially with M2 global money supply with liquidity rising, we do expect, Bitcoin and Ethereum to follow the upward trajectory. Main post is 6,000 seems fair for ETH. I mean, when we look at the different, levels of opportunity, I really do think that 6,000 is a reasonable target. I initially put the price at around 7,800, but we're not out of the woods yet. I do believe there's upside to get to that level. That's only like, less than, 80-90% from where we are. Lark Davis puts it, zoom out on ETH and the structure is clear. ETH broke out of a multi-year symmetrical triangle that started back in 2021, rejected perfectly at the old macro swing high. It's now coiling inside a bullish pennant and also testing the upper triangle, which was once resistance, now potential support. If this consolidation resolves upward, the Fib 1.618 extension from prior all-time high to bear market lows point to 7,000K plus. So he has this, forecasted, sometime, in this year. So there's that upside potential with, 1.618 fib levels, the golden ratio, which is what can be, a scenario that will play out. Amit posted BMNR. Tom Lee bought another 200,000 Ethereum last week, especially when we had Ethereum going down, below 3,500. Tom Lee took action. Now BMNR has over 3 million tokens of ETH on their balance sheet. Just put that into perspective. Tom Lee says the crypto liquidation over the past few days created a price decline in ETH, which BitMine took advantage of. We acquired 202,000 ETH tokens over the past few days, pushing our ETH holdings to over 3 million or 2.5% of the supply of ETH. We are now more than halfway towards our initial pursuit of the alchemy of 5% of Ethereum. So definitely this, image of Tom Lee, he's going to be the world's richest man at one point. BitMine posts, BMNR provided its latest holdings update for October 13, 2025, $12.9 billion in total crypto plus moonshots. Over 3 million ETH at 4,154 per ETH, just really good numbers. I mean, current ETH price, way above that right now, and it will continue to climb up. Bitcoin, they have 192 Bitcoin on their balance sheet and 135 million stake in ACO, ticker ORBS, moonshots, and unencumbered cash of $104 million. So Tom Lee is really driving this company up, getting a lot of investor interest, even in Korea. This is like the number one stock in terms of volume traded. Batty posted, give her a follow as well. She's part of the BitMine community. Here are my favorite slides from the deck: the effectiveness of the Treasury strategy, how rapidly BMNR is acquiring ETH, adoption by large financial organizations, efficiency of moving on-chain using Tether as an example, AI enablement, the value of ETH relative to Bitcoin. So just take a look at this top left graph. I mean, you have a number of, ETH treasury companies, but just look at the comparison BMNR has like a 9.3x comparison with its growth when you compare it to other digital asset treasuries. On the right, when you compare BMNR to strategy, obviously BMNR is much newer in the game with, treasury when you compare it to strategy where they've been buying, Bitcoin for like over 5 years now. But just look at the difference, the rate of growth. We see this aggressive velocity increasing, in terms of like holdings, asset class, in terms of the market value right now. BMNR is aggressively acquiring Ethereum, and any price movement with Ethereum going up, you could really see BMNR just appreciate in terms of its market cap and value. Just looking at the Treasury case study, driving 25x total returns versus underlying crypto return of 10x. So, you have MSTR price rising 10x due to Bitcoin rising from 11,000 to 118,000. That's a 15x implied due to Treasury strategy. So Treasury strategies have the potential to drive excess gains over token price gains. And that's why, it's important for investors to understand why you're investing in companies like BMNR. There's a bigger return, where you have this multiplier effect, which is why people invest in BMNR. On the lower right, you see implied fair value based on ETH Bitcoin ratio, 12,000 to 2. I mean, just look at this. I mean, 8-year average, 11,000, 2021, 21,000. ETH payment rails, 62,000. So as time progresses, Ethereum will multiply, your investment. That's why the shares of, BMNR will be accretive with respect to like the MNAV. Let's take a look at technical analysis. So, just gonna, show you, what I have as indicators. I have the momentum bar indicator turned on, as well as, just with what the whales are doing. So let's just zoom in real quick. What are we seeing? We see this red momentum candle establishing. You see that little red bar right there? I mean, we had a red kick in September 11. It went, you know, Ethereum went 43 all the way up to like 47. We had another red candle 41 all the way up to 47. We just got this new red candle kick into gear. So how high is it going to go? I really do think in this cycle, in 2025, we may very well get to this 1.618 fib level. I mean, we've been getting this double bottom, support. We had that range around August, got rejected at the 1 fib level of 4,900, the all-time high. And we're just hovering around that range. Soon enough, I think we're gonna, kick into gears, have this, shoot up. I'm thinking, I'm still bullish that we're gonna get somewhere around 7,000, 7,800, my price target with Ethereum in 2025. Let's now talk about BMNR technical analysis. So what are we seeing? So I have Elliott wave five stages drawn out here. So, back in, August, we had support at $30. I was recommending it there. We have a new support, a month later, from August, $41. So every month it climbs up with a $10 increase in increment. But let's just take a look. Elliott wave plays out. We have it at $68, creates a new support level. Elliott wave 2 at, $40, and it climbed up to wave 3, $68. And then now we're seeing this type of support range here, at the $50, and we're climbing up today with the healthy, over 7% gain. I think we're going to start, having this trend upward from my perspective. I think things are going to be very bullish October through November, even December. And, price action, I think the first stopping point before we consolidate somewhere around $77, $88. We'll see it, play out this Elliott wave 5 from my perspective.
In our view, because you now have a digital store of value. But I think you want to think about the other side of that ledger. What is Wall Street going to do? And in our view, Wall Street is going to play a very significant role in creating a market for digital assets. And in our view, the biggest winner here is Ethereum. So let's think about what it means for Bitcoin's upside. If gold today is at 4,000 per ounce, and maybe it'll get to 5,000 per ounce. Well, we want to think about what Bitcoin's gold Bitcoin to gold ratio is. What percentage of Bitcoin's network value should mirror that of gold? And if it's only at 10%, then you get a $140,000 value for Bitcoin. I think that number is too low. I think it's going to basically match gold's value or even exceed it. And that's how you get to the $1.4 to $2.2 million of value per Bitcoin. So we're still quite bullish on Bitcoin here at around 110,000. But let's think about this other story arc that's going to develop, which is Wall Street is going to innovate on the blockchain over the next 10 to 15 years. Okay. And part of this story arc is, and we've already seen it, is that we're talking about stablecoins, which is tokenized dollars. So that's almost like the 1971 moment. But we're talking about tokenized equities, tokenizing credit, real estate, reputation, and eventually intellectual property. All things that are measured in the economy today. And I think there's going to be invisible measures that get monetized on the blockchain: data collection, royalty payments, loyalty programs, agentic AI, and even important things like proof of human. So a lot will happen on crypto. And we already know Ethereum has experienced this ChatGPT moment because of stablecoins. Here's just a list of different companies and entities that are building stablecoin projects. And you might wonder, why does the US government care about stablecoins? Well, it's the same reason the US cared about the synthetic dollar staying strong. Today, the US dollar is 27% of GDP, but it's 57% of central bank reserves. That 57% shows you that Wall Street's efforts to make the dollar the standard of transactions after 1971 was effective. It's 88% of financial market trades, okay? But it's basically 100% of stablecoin denomination. So by moving to a synthetic dollar tokenized on a blockchain, the dollar could become even more dominant. And collectively, stablecoins are the 12th largest holder of treasuries in the world. By the way, that's at about 280 billion of stablecoin outstanding. Treasury Secretary Bessent thinks it could be a $4 trillion market, but once stablecoins own more than 1 trillion of treasuries, they will become the single largest holder of treasuries in the world. It's not that far away.
So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this content. If you did, I would really appreciate smashing the like, subscribing to All I See Is W. Thanks guys for watching. So